Nigeria is celebrating Independence Day, and Nigeria celebrates her independence every first day in the month of October. Today is the first day in the month of October, and Nigeria has turned 61 years of age today. Normally, it's an occasion for celebration everywhere, but the atmosphere is not as such right here. Out of the 61 years of independence in Nigeria, only 32 have been under a democratic system. Presently, in the Ninth Assembly, the relationship between the executive and lawmakers have helped to speed up passage of critical bills like the Petroleum Industry Bill, Production Sharing Contracts, Police Reform Act, and the returning of the budget to January to December timeline. And Honorable Uko Nkole is a member of the House of Representatives representing the good people of Arochukwu Hafia Federal Constituency, and he's here on the program, Midas Torch, to highlight some of his achievements in the House and also look at important issues affecting the country. My name is Chioma Nkwanta Ezengwa. A very good morning to you, Honorable Uko Nkole.
Good morning, Chioma. Glad to have me on your program.
Oh, yes. It's amazing having you on the program this morning. Happy Independence Day.
Same to you. I wish you the same.
All right. Speaking of the independence, we're going to start with Nigeria, the Nigerian project, and what you think about Nigeria at 61. We're 61 today.
Well, to me, there is nothing much to celebrate about Nigeria at 61. In fact, from 2015 till date, it's been ups and downs. It's been more of issues dominating around cows and setting aside human aspect, because section 14 section 14(2)(b) of the constitution really spells out what a government should be, and in the discharge of that responsibility, the government at the center has not been able to discharge that effectively, but rather it has been giving more priority to animals. So I think that is not worth celebrating. But I'm a Christian. I'm a firm believer of God, and God says in all situations we should give Him thanks. So on that premise, I give God thanks for all things that has happened, and also the marginalization of the southeastern part of Nigeria, the Igbos, has been taken to a state level that Igbos have been found wanting on the power block of the federation, be it in ministries, departments, and agencies of government. It's a very sad commentary how Igbos have nosedived in the affairs of the country. So it is something that I say there should be hope, and I say that before that hope comes, the government at the center, the government of President Muhammadu Buhari should do the right thing by assuaging the feelings, the marginalization feelings of the Igbos. It should stop now and carry everybody along. And in a nutshell, Southeast has been besieged with a lot of security challenges. The governors have been trying in their very best bet to contain that. But I want to tell and appeal to all of our brothers, yes, these issues of marginalization is there, and we know it, we feel it, we see it on daily basis. But it's not a situation that we should on our own now start having issues among ourselves. So I want to appeal with everybody to join hands with us. If we are abandoned, we cannot be abandoned. We can't abandon ourselves. So at this period, it calls for a sober reflection, and I appeal for everybody for peace and calm. And I want to also call on the security agencies, especially now there are counter claims about issues, the killings in the south, the wanton destruction of lives and property. This is not what we need now, because I know for sure whatever thing we have had in the southeastern part of Nigeria are mostly done by individuals, are private developments, whatever, be it government, because we live a communal life and we do use communal efforts to attract development for people. So whatever thing you see in the southeast, please don't destroy it, protect it. It is sacred. It is our money, so we shouldn't cut our nose to spite our face. So I want to say that let us have hope, and also call more on the government at the center to approach dialogue. Everything mustn't be by force. political solution is still remains the key. I was talking to some. I was addressing a media conference yesterday when I was asked about my opinion. They were blaming the governors and the leaders of the Southeast. I said, no, you don't need to do that. This is an emerging security challenge that we are having. When Northeast, Northwest, their issues came up, we didn't look at it as if it's a Hausa or Fulani or whoever problem is. We confronted as a national maladies, and everybody, all hands were on deck. So the same way, if we also have such issues down any part of the country, it shouldn't be regionalized. We shouldn't always add ethnic coloration to whatever thing we do. So let us look at it at that particular that view, be objective about it, and see is a problem that requires a solution that all of us, should join hands and not reducing it to ethnic coloration. So, so far that is Nigeria for us at 61, and I think it is imperative now that the government at the center should take every practical step, every practical measure to see that the issues of marginalization of the southeastern part of Nigeria is addressed, not just on the papers, but it must be seen, to be justice to be done on that distance. So those are my few views and few views about the Nigeria.
Okay. Now, looking at Nigeria progressively, 61 years of existence as a country and 32 years in a democratic state, should we be proud of where we are today?
Nigeria, before now, 32 years of democracy, yes. But I have to be very frank with you. 2015 and now 6 years down the line, we have been on a reverse motion. So there is nothing to be happy about Nigeria today as it stands. Between 2015 and today, everything has gone up. There is food crisis waiting for us at the door. Look at the prices of foodstuff in the market has skyrocketed. Petroleum, even cooking gas. We are talking about climate change and the ways of curbing climate change. And the only ways to to look for alternative energy resources, for cooking.
Yeah.
And gas, I know the vision we had was to make gas cheap and available in order to discourage the use of firewood. And using firewood or such other combustible this thing has its own antecedents. Well, for you to get fire, for you to get firewood, you must go and fell trees. And felling of trees is also part of the means, those are contributors to climate changes. So if we do things, we now had constant policy of making even cooking gas more affordable, cheaper than going to fell trees. But today now those gains have been reversed. Cooking gas 15, I don't know, I'm not a lady, but I know those prices have now increased tremendously and are out of reach. So what are you saying now? Now the incentives that we have made, the gains that have made all through this period have just been rubbished. So persons definitely must cook. And what is the attendant consequence? The attendant consequence is that they'll go back to the old method. And what will it happen to the environment? It's also we are fueling the climate change. So those policies that were carefully made to protect and preserve our environment have been rubbished by some certain government policies. So that is just one aspect of that. Our road networks. I laugh when people talk about administrations and this. Whatever infrastructural development that you see in the southeast today were initiatives of government before 2015. Right from 1999 to date. There is no new project. Let me not be very blanket about it.
All right.
95% of the projects that are ongoing in the southeast were initiated by previous administration, not this current administration. And funding has also become an issue of those projects. So in this, it also gives you an impression that things are not properly going down well in the southern part of the country, especially in the eastern states. We are talking about railway line where about 20 something points, 22 point something billion US dollars or thereabout was borrowed, and I and you will pay for that money. And no single project was allotted to the southeastern part of the country. So when you aggregate all these things, it gives you and a lot of other things. Is it in terms of appointment? Look at the entire service chief. Look at the entire of Security Council. No southeasterner seats where decisions about security is being taken on behalf of your people. I mean, we have been put on the reverse motion. So I think it's something that I will call on Mr. President to quickly as possible address all these imbalance.
All right.
Because we do federal character key.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. All right, amazing. It's Midas Touch and Flow 94.9 FM. We have been discussing the Nigerian project at 61. Now let's move away from that. But we are talking to Honorable Uko Nkole, the member representing Ohafia Arochukwu Federal Constituency at the House of Representatives. Now, the federal government, okay, not that. The budget of 2021, the budget for 2021, is to be implemented soon, or has it been implemented?
Yes, the 2021 budget that was signed on 31st of December, that came into effect on January 1. But usually budgets run concurrently in the sense that because of the delay, especially experienced with the pandemic. So both budgets of 2020 and 2021 were running concurrently.
Okay.
But in that, agencies, I believe, were more concerned in finishing, because we did some extensions to them to enable them carry out, especially the capital components of the budget. They had extension up to March, April or so, and thereabout, depending on the intensity of the work that will be done, the scope of the project. So, but now that has been done and taken away. So it becomes imperative that the 2021 budget, commenced. So 2021 budget system has also commenced, and I know budget releases is hanging around 61 or above 60%.
Okay, so there's been funds released for the implementation of the 2021 budget.
Yes.
All right.
Those projects are those budgets, the capital components are released in installments.
Okay.
So most times agencies wait for when the funds are substantial to enable them award the contracts and contractors mobilize to site. So having said, that said, I want to say, like I'm a lawmaker. My responsibility is to ensure that I attract projects, to my federal constituency through the means of appropriation of funds to such projects, like the ongoing Ohafia Bende Arochukwu Ozwabam Road.
Yeah.
Those are projects I conceived in 2017 that were budgeted for in 2017, and it has been rolled over, and the budget is ongoing due to the circumstance that we have, especially on the Mori Bridge. So it became imperative after my meetings with the then PAMSEC and the minister on the need to have that Mori Bridge rehabilitated and also a new one constructed. So that was done. In the project started in December 2018. That was when the I received the Minister of Works team that came for expedited bridge design on that Mori.
Okay.
And that's executed, and the bridge has been opened since June 2018. On that bridge and on the road, there are expectation of about 5 kilometers road reconstruction starting from Old Soldier, which has commenced, to the Moray Bridge. Okay. And in during the 2020 budget against 2021, I imputed about 1 point something billion, which I know the construction company has access to enable them fund the projects through Federal Ministry of Works. So, so that is for that. Then the kind of water scheme is about 85% completed. That project I imputed in the budget in the 2020 budget.
Okay.
Then initial appropriation was 500 million, but because of the scope of work, which entails a lot to be done, so the funds as at that time wasn't enough for the 2020 budget. Now in 2021 appropriation, I also cost for extra 300 million naira.
Okay.
To be appropriated for that project, and I'm happy today to say that all the scope, including solar panel fund that will power the water itself, the staff quarters for those that will man the facility, the treatment plant system, the treatment plant itself, all those things on ground, including the transformer, because we have alternative power sources. We have for the electricity, and we also have for the solar, so that at every particular point in time, they will always have energy to be able to power the plants.
All right.
And also, there are complementary infrastructure that was also put in place there, like the solar panel, solar powered lights.
Okay.
You know, along the roads where those underground facilities are installed. One, to protect them, and also to light up the parts of the communities, which is about 13 kilometers radius coverage. And the water treatment plant itself is expected to have a store capacity of over 400,000 cubic meters, which is the largest in Ohafia. That is for that.
Okay.
Now, in the constituency also, I want to say one thing about that water project.
All right.
Those projects are projects that were constructed by previous administrations. In fact, that project was commissioned in 1986 by the then military administrator of Imo State. And it became moribund. But by the virtue of creation of Abia State inherited that water project. Owing to the demand from Akano, Akano is the largest settlement in Aruchukwu Federal Constituency. And you can now understand the imperativeness of having such a water scheme. So it became necessary after a town hall meeting that I should revamp that water scheme. So I made attempts to revamp all the inherited water scheme in Aruchukwu Federal Constituency. You have that one in Akano. You also have another one at Telu Ohafia. You have one dam project that was being done at Asaga Ohafia through Minister of Niger Delta Affairs.
Okay.
That one is still there. Then you have the Nkuru water scheme. You have the Abreba water scheme. Those are the major water schemes that you have in Aruchukwu Federal Constituency. And of course, the new one I introduced in Abam, which is the Abam surface water scheme, which is, when realized, is going to be the largest surface water scheme in Abia State.
Okay.
Now, my effort to revamp that project has paid off, which is the Ohafia water scheme, which is the major water scheme. Now, I attempt to do Ohafia, the one at Elu Ohafia. Also, I've done that to 50% or 60% completion, in the sense that the water source and the equipments have all been rehabilitated, waiting for reticulation. But midway, politics played along the line, and the reticulation stopped. But I still have an eye to ensure that it is captured back in the federal budget to enable the water work, because to be a good destiny to that. Now, you come to road rehabilitation. The major roads we have from the F107 road which takes you from Umuahia Bende, Uzwabam, Ohafia axis, also was in a very bad shape in 2016. In fact, prior to my assumption, that road was quite unpassable, but through concerted effort and instrumental budgeting, which has been consistent since 2016 to date, most of all the failed portions have been rehabilitated, and the contractor also is on site to do the needful. So at least that road at all season is motorable, and the very bad spots will also receive attention. It's covered by the contract, and also there's a contract for the total makeover of that road. Now, on other projects also, for this 2021, my constituency projects more. Most of the projects that I commenced in 2018 and 2019, I conceived in 2018, 2019. All of them have been captured for completion in this 2021 budget. The contractors really have contacted all the communities. And starting from my community, the Okweji Memorial Primary School, we completed. I also intend to build a primary healthcare center for women, precisely women and children hospital at Ozwabam. The contractor has also reported to site to do that. Then there is one very bad dilapidated school at at Central School Ozwabam.
All right.
Also is going to receive attention. The contractor should be there by Tuesday. Then the Ivu Ozwabam Bridge is passing through the final processes at the Federal Ministry of Works to enable the contractor, new contractor, took over site. So that is the situation for that Omenoko Bridge. So the bureaucratic processes and the due processes are being observed to ensure that is done. Now, I also have a street lighting project for the arterial roads that takes you from the boundary of Arochukwu Ohafia to which is in Arochukwu to Ohafia. Having street lights on all those nodal villages, because most of the villages in my federal constituency are nodal towns, nodal villages, I mean to say, and to Ohafia. So I intend to light them up so that at every particular point in time, whether there is a source from public source or not, those streets at night at least will be lit. And you know the importance of having all those arterial roads lit at night.
Yes.
So I have that project also for this 2021, and I know any moment from now the contractors will come to start to site to do those execute those projects. And I'm not just concentrating on the nodal communities on the major arterials. I'm also extending to the 4 wards in the federal constituency. Tonheke Idima will also have their share, half or two here. Ovuku, Ndoji, Ahoma, Ndokreke, all those axes, they will also be lit up at night, so that at any particular point in time, you can have easy access.
So all of these are the expectations from the 2021 budget?
Yes. That's the project. That's the expectation for 2021 budget in my federal constituency. And also, at Elu Ohafia, I did promise the women. They did made an appeal for a primary care center for women, and I know the contractor has reported to site to take the required engineering measurements at Elu Ohafia, and also that will be taken care of. Then the Amanta Abreba primary health care center also they have got, and I know that project will be completed also. Then at Ayihechiawa, Amamiri and Angbetita Mafia, also I have an appeal from the communities to assist them in achieving rehabilitation of their primary healthcare centers and all. And also that has been captured, and is expected that that will be done. Then at Amanavu at Aruchiku,
Okay.
also, I have a hall that I did promise to the women during the electioneering campaign, that I was going to help them complete that project, and that project is going to come on stream. Then about 8 communities are going to benefit from water schemes. That the cottage hospital at Tututu, also they're going to, their water scheme is going to commence.
Okay.
I also about half 2 of them in Aruchiku clan, Aruchiku clan proper. Also, they're going to benefit. Then Diogbo in Ihechiawa, also, I did promise them when they make the appeal about water scheme, they're also going to have that done this year. Even in Ozuabam also, I have about 3 or so water scheme. The Nabam water scheme also is going to have its own fair share. Then at Abreba, Enuda Girls High School, I got an appeal from the old Girls Association on the need to come to their aid. So I'm also doing a block of 4 classrooms in at Egwana in Abreba. Also at Nkuru, I have a water scheme that is ongoing. So in all this, all the 8 clans that make up the federal constituency, I ensure that all these facilities are extended to them. And don't forget that all the clans, also all the schools, have over 100 public primary schools, and almost all of them has benefited from my educational modern educational materials distribution, which I've just completed. And a program is also going to come on stream,
all right,
to train the teachers, all the head teachers and some select teachers on ways to handle those new instructional materials.
They're going to get training.
Yeah, they're going to get training.
Okay.
Yes, all the head teachers in the primary schools now, which go for federal constraints, are going to get training, and also some other teachers too. Will also be taught on how to this thing, so that they can teach others, how to use those new modern equipment. So those are the things, the few things I can remember. We are going to do for now, but others are still. An event comes up, I will also brief the constituency.
Okay, that's amazing. You have been listening to Representative Uko Nkole, member representing Arochukwu Ohafia Federal Constituency at the House of Representatives. And he has been marshalling out some of the projects that will be implemented with the 2021 budget. It is Midas Touch on Flow 94.9 FM, the flow of God's home state. Well, glad to know you're still on to Flow 94.9 FM, the flow of God's home state. It is Midas Touch on Flow 94.9 FM, a program designed to x-ray some of the activities of the member representing Arochukwu Ohafia Federal Constituency at the House of Representatives, Honorable Uko Nkole. And he is on the phone with us, virtually on the program with us this morning. We've talked about the Nigerian project at 61. We have looked at the 2021 budget to be implemented and the expectations for Arochukwu Ohafia Federal Constituency from this budget. Now, sir, you had a visit from a foreign attaché, defense attaché, embassy of Italy in charge of Nigeria. You had a visit. He visited you at your office. So are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay,
Go
okay.
ahead.
Yes, I was saying you had a visit from a foreign attaché, defense embassy of, defense attaché, embassy of Italy in charge of Nigeria.
That's correct.
Okay, so what is the take from that visit? I saw some of the write-ups saying something about the Abba fashion designers and all of that.
Yes, it's on the sideline on part of my contacts.
Okay.
I am my yeah, I used to be the secretary of presidential committee for international affairs of Nigerian Institute of Town Planners. So I had before I joined politics, when I was in the public service, in the civil service. So I had those contacts with most of the foreign partners that
Okay.
we used to deal with at the time. So it wasn't that guys that uh, Colonel Michel Devastato
Okay.
is the defense attaché for Nigeria, in charge of Nigeria, that is of Italy, of embassy of Italy. Is in charge of Nigeria, Lome, Cotonou, Cameroon, Niger, most of these West African countries, and also extends his portfolio, also extends to Southern African Republic. So
Okay.
he came on a courtesy visit to me yesterday. So we talked about issues, say as it concerns southeastern part of Nigeria. Um, Precisely, it's global knowledge now that Governor Kezefi Tikbazo has exposed made in Aba, making Aba products,
Oh
and
yes.
I was amazed that all of them are abreast and aware of his activities, the expo of Aba projects. Especially they tell us. I said yes. Most of them are my constituents. When you talk about, you can't talk about tailoring now without talking about Fadamase. Fadamase is from my constituency,
Mm.
and all the rest of that. And also, don't forget that last week also, I did get the federal government through the Survivor Fund to identify about 160 artisans in my federal constituency that to be empowered, and they were there last week to do enumeration. Though some were not captured, but efforts have been made to make sure that all of them. Those are the points, facts the one are doing to engage our teaming youths into getting into productivity. So when that issue came about, I did say yes. So it was the line of discussion, our conversation that I now made. We went into several sectors.
Okay.
One key takeaway was the fact that our boys who are doing well in fashion designers,
All right.
and predominantly they're in Aba. It doesn't mean other ones that are interested in other towns, not Aba, but predominantly Aba is the center of commerce in the southeast, in the southeastern region. It's a well-known fact.
Okay.
So we had an agreement on areas how to help to empower them to realize their potentials, because if you unlock that and unlock them to the world, and don't forget, Italy is among the best with the world designers in terms of clothes wears
Oh,
are
that's true.
based in. So that is their sense of that, to expose them for some of them that are interested, so that they can have exchange of ideas, even visit some of those factories and know how they can really expand their businesses and expand their school.
Okay.
Because it will be my joy that our youths are well empowered and organized, leveraging on what the milestone of Dr. Okeze Victor Igbazu. So that was the major takeaway. And he
Okay.
also used the medium to invite me for their defense anniversary week, which is on the 25th of November. So
Amazing.
very soon, the details of for those that are interested, I will reach out to the experts in the government house who has the touch with them. I also brief the governor about it so that he
Okay.
can give a go ahead on how I know Sam Hart and Chineye Nwogu. They know most of all these designers. Those ones that are interested, who can fashion out the program, exchange program that will see them go to Italy and all those things and
Okay.
understand how these things are done. So That is what I'm doing for my constituents, particularly those ones that are in Aba.
Okay, that's wonderful. Now, you made mention of federal government social investment program, and you said something about documentation have started already. Please, can you shed more light on that?
Yes, I have 160 persons. I've nominated round all the villages in Aruchukwu Federal Constituency.
Okay.
At least the state that doesn't have a representation. So as a first process, or their details were sent to me, and I shortlisted them.